but because they have a reason greater than all of that. Family. My father worked in a factory for 40 years. He was not a successful businessman. He was not a scientist. He was just an ordinary factory worker. Every day, he wore his gray work uniform. He left for work early in the morning and returned home when the sky was already dark. His life repeated itself like that for many years. But to my father, it was not boredom, it was responsibility. When I was a child, I often asked my father about his work. He told me that the factory was like a small world. There were giant machines there, loud, rumbling noises that never seemed to stop. Long shifts that lasted for hours. Whenever my father came, his hands were always covered in machine oil. His clothes smelled like metal. But every time he saw me, he smiled. My father woke up at 5 in the morning. He quickly ate the hot bowl of rice my mother prepared. Then he rode his bicycle to the factory. It was the same road he had taken for 40 years. Rain, Sunday, cold wind. There was not a single day he gave up going to work. Even when he had a fever, he still tried to go. Because my father always said the family needed him. There were holidays when everyone else was resting, but my father was still working. The factory always needed someone to keep the machines running. He often took overtime shifts, not because he loved working more, but because the extra pay would buy me new books, help the family, pay the electric bill, and make life a little easier. When I was young, I did not understand any of that. I used to feel ashamed when my friends asked
The family,
what my father
friends,
did
and
for a
a
living.
wonderful holiday.
Their fathers
Cheers,
were doctors,
everyone.
engineers, directors, and my father was only a factory worker. I once wished that he had a different job, a better job. One day, when I was in high school, my father took me to the factory. He wanted me to see the place where he worked. The factory was enormous. The sound of machinery echoed everywhere. The air was hot and full of metal dust. I saw my father standing beside an old machine. He worked with great care, as if every small detail mattered. During the break, my father sat down beside me. He told me that every job has value. What matters is not what kind of job you do. What matters is whether you do it with honesty and responsibility. He said he was proud to support his family with his own hands. Years passed. I grew up. I went to college. I found a better job. My life changed. But my father kept working at the factory. The same machine, the same shift, the same familiar road. On his bicycle, after 40 years of work, my father retired. On his last day at the factory, his co-workers held a small party for him. They gave him a watch.
Remember this,
On the back,
every
there was
job,
an
no
engraved
matter how small it
message.
seems,
Thanks
has value.
for 40
And there
years
is
of
dignity
dedication.
in all human
My
labor.
father held that watch for a long time. He did not say much. He simply smiled. When I watched my father walk out of the
วรรณ
factory
สิทธิ์ทางสัตว์ทั
that
ก
day,
ว่าโดด
I
เรียนที่
suddenly
สิทธิ์
understood
ว่า
something.
เวนิสัน
He
สัต
did
ว์
not
คน
work
ทัก
just to earn
สิ่งที่
money.
เป็นทางสา
He
ย
had
ทาง
spent his whole
แดน
life
ชัน
building a future for his family. 40 years thousands of working days, millions of footsteps along
We
that
just want to
familiar
thank you for
road.
your hard work,
My father
Frank. We're
did
really
not
going to miss you.
A large
Cheers,
company.
everyone. It's been a
He
great
did not
ride.
great wealth behind, but he gave me something far more valuable: hard work, perseverance, and dignity in labor. Today, whenever I look at my own hands, I always think of my father's hands, the calluses, the scratches, the marks left by 40 years of labor. Those hands built the life I have today. There are many jobs in this world that people often look down on, but without the people who do those jobs, the world could not keep running. Factory workers, silent laborers, they are the foundation of everything. And today, whenever I struggle in my own work, I think of my father, the man who stood beside a machine for 40 years without complaining, without giving up, just working day after day. My father is not a hero in history books, but to me, he is the greatest man I have ever known, because sometimes the people who change our lives the most are simply the ones who quietly work their entire lives so that we can have a better future.
If this story touched your heart, take a moment today, call your father or your mother, tell them something simple. Just say, "I love you," because one day we may realize that the people who built our future were quietly standing behind us all along. And if you believe stories like this matter, please subscribe to this channel, because here we tell the stories that remind us what truly matters in life. Thank you for watching.